Now, what is Adaptation Gap Report? Go back to Paris Agreement. Yeah, if you can, if you have the printout or slides with you. What was the second aim of the Paris Agreement? The first aim was that we have to keep the rise to below 2 degrees and if possible, reduce it to 1.5 degrees. The second aim was make the developmental model adaptive and have a climate change resilient model. If you remember it, that was the second point. So what does adaptation gap refers? The gap refers to what needs to be done and what is actually done. Very simple. What are communities doing to reduce their vulnerability? So whenever you talk of adaptation, always use the word vulnerability. These two are directly related. Anywhere. Means related to climate change. Be it in India or outside India. Whenever someone talks about adaptation, always use the word vulnerability in your answer. It has to come. Yeah. So because one is the corollary of other. High vulnerability. What does it mean? Low adaptation. Very good adaptation to climate change. What does it mean? Low vulnerability. Okay. So this report specifically tracks about overall at a global level what is the what should be the vulnerability or how should the vulnerability decrease with time and how is vulnerability actually decreasing. So they have a metrics through which they are measuring the vulnerability. Now what they are saying is even in this the countries are very clear what we need to do. For example, let's say there is a country Bangladesh. Bangladesh is very clear that because of rising sea level, we will not be able to cultivate in the delta regions because of incursion of seawater. Are you able to imagine the statement? There is Bangladesh. You can imagine the map of Bangladesh. You have Bay of Bengal towards its south. When the level of Bay of Bengal water increases, what will happen? The water will go towards north. And what was a delta region? They are no more able to do rice cultivation. Let's say, yeah. So what they are saying is every country is very good when it comes to planning, but the problem is in financing. This is also a aspect which is well known. I'll come directly to this last point on adaptation report called as nature-based solution. Now, this term has been picked up by a lot by Indian media and coaching institutes. What is nature-based solution? As the name suggests, nature-based solution. When you are trying to adapt to climate change, try to do it in a natural way, as against a man-made way. What does this mean? For example, if there is an increased incidence of drought, yeah, suppose there is the soil is losing its moisture because of very high temperature. Okay, a man-made way to solve this problem would be drought-resistant seed variety. That's a man-made way of solving the problem. Nature way would be something like this. You've heard of this term? Mulching. Mulching means what? When you had harvested the crop, the leftover from the harvest, you just cover the ground with that. So what is the big deal? It is a big deal because whatever is the moisture in the soil, the mulching acts as a protective layer and prevents the evaporation of the soil moisture. So the mulching is on top. That is point number one. Point number two, when the mulching also decays, it kind of improves the soil fertility. Okay, so that this is an example of nature-based solution because it says whatever is going to be a nature-based solution, it will always be sustainable. It will always be sustainable. Okay, so we looked at